Direct object pronouns. Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. Indirect object pronouns. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. In this example, mis estudiantes son inteligentes. There is no object, direct or indirect. So there is nothing I can do in order to replace it with a pronoun. However, look at the second sentence. Ellos hacen la tarea. I found here a direct object, that it is la tarea. Now, I have a third sentence. Hacen la tarea muy bien. So la tarea is showing again. I want to avoid redundancy. That's what pronouns are for. In this case, direct and indirect object pronouns can be replaced in order to avoid repetition. So, direct object pronoun plus a conjugated verb. I'm going to replace la tarea. La tarea is a feminine and singular word. So the pronoun that I can use to replace it is la. Since I have a conjugated verb, then I need to place the direct object pronoun first. Ellos, and then I have la. Hacen muy bien. So now, instead of saying hacen la tarea muy bien, since I know from context that we're talking about tarea, I can just use la. Ellos la hacen muy bien. Let's look at the second example. Ellos hacen la tarea para la profesora. My indirect object is la profesora, and that's what I'm going to replace. So I write ellos. Again, I need to find the indirect object pronoun that I'm going to use. In this case, it's a feminine word and it's singular. So I will be using le. Ellos le, according to my instructor right here, IOP, indirect object pronoun goes before the conjugated verb. Ellos le hacen la tarea. Period. I have replaced la profesora, so I don't need to include it in the sentence again. Now what I'm going to do is I have this example where I'm going to replace the direct object and the indirect object. So I will need to place the indirect object pronoun first, followed by the direct object pronoun, and then the conjugated verb. The indirect object pronoun needs to be first. El estudiante escribe los pronombres para ti. So the student writes the pronouns for you. Let's see. So I'm going to replace my direct object pronoun, that is los pronombres. And since this is a masculine plural form, I will be using los. El estudiante los escribe. So I have replaced my direct object, but I also need to replace my indirect object. Instead of saying para ti, I need to say te. Now, ojo, where do I place it? Right before the indirect object pronoun. So my new sentence is el estudiante te los escribe. El estudiante te los escribe. So, te is your indirect object pronoun and los is your direct object pronoun. Right there, te, indirect object pronoun, y los, direct object pronoun. Now, look at this last example, and this one, there's going to be a new thing that you need to consider. Los estudiantes hacen la tarea para la profesora. So la tarea is the direct object. And now I'm going to use la to replace it. La profesora, indirect object, feminine, singular. So I need to use le. So, los estudiantes, and it says, the rule says, place the indirect object pronoun first. So I will need to write here, le, meaning la profesora, okay? And then la tarea will be la, le, la, and then my verb, hacen. However, saying le, la sounds very funny. So in Espanol, when we encounter this situation, what we need to do is we need to replace this le for the pronoun se. Los estudiantes se la hacen. So in this case, se is your indirect object pronoun. And you are going to use it only in the event that you find the conflict where you need to have le followed by la or le followed by lo. So those situations require that you replace the le for se. Muy bien. Muchas gracias.